Hello you guys, welcome back to another vlog. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. Thanks so much for joining. So I am 39 weeks and 2 days pregnant. So this is my last week of pregnancy and I wanted to pick up the camera and do hopefully one last pregnancy vlog for you guys. I am really hoping that I am not vlogging next week. My due date is actually in 5 days and I have a check in 3, so hopefully, fingers crossed, the check goes well and things have started to get going, or I don't know. I really don't know. This is my first pregnancy. I'm a first-time mom, so I know that it could really happen whenever, and it could be way longer than 40 weeks. So just kind of in that waiting period right now. It is so crazy to think that this time next week I could possibly have my baby girl in my arms, and it's honestly so wild to think about, but I'm so ready. If you've been pregnant before, you would know, which I'm figuring out now, that the last month, last couple of weeks feel like eternity. And I can only say it's because of course, excitement, and you want your baby that you've been growing for so long to just be here already and to have them in your arms, but also just because I can say that I am just uncomfy at this point. I am not sleeping the best. I am up almost every half hour using the restroom. I really am just having a hard time getting comfortable in bed. I have Braxton Hicks contractions almost every hour, and it happens throughout the day, but throughout the evening it's like a whole nother level. So I'm just really hoping that she comes sooner rather than later. And yeah, so I thought I would just, pick up the camera and start vlogging and maybe even just take my mind off things. And who knows, maybe I won't even be able to get up this vlog in this week. Maybe I will be giving birth. We will see. I even have had everything packed, like my hospital bag is already in my car. I brought in all of my makeup, my skincare, all my postpartum stuff that I want, just ready to go. Just in case I need to just like grab and go, because you never know when that moment would happen. Maybe it's just me being overcautious, but I like to be prepared and ready to go if need be. But as I mentioned, just wanted to start off the vlog. I have a little solo night tonight. My husband's working a little bit later, so I'm just doing some self-care things. I feel like that's what I'm probably going to prioritize a lot this week. Just a little bit extra of self-care. I've been taking baths every evening just because they just really help kind of calm me down, get me a little bit tired, relaxed, and just also help with some of the soreness and pain that I have been feeling. But yeah, I'll take you guys through the rest of the few days. Fingers crossed, by the time this vlog is ending, I am updating you if we are going into labor or not, but I'm thinking we have a few days still to go. So, Keeks, me and your dad came to the hospital at 12 p.m. My water broke with you at 2. And now we are relaxing and waiting for your arrival. Here's your dad. Say hi, Keeks.
Sorry.
When do you think she's going to join us?
10 o'clock.
What time?
10.
10 p.m. Your dad says 10. It's 4:30 now. I say 9. I say 9 p.m. And I hope I'm right. Time to go home. Yay, going home. Hi you guys, so the beginning of this vlog actually makes me laugh a lot because I had no idea what was gonna happen the following morning. I actually gave birth to my baby girl on April 23rd and she was a few days early, which is very exciting. I was so happy that she came early and decided to join us. It was only like 4 days earlier, but nonetheless, we were so excited and I am basically in a newborn bubble right now and it just feels so good. And I wanted to share my birth story with you guys. I know a lot of people are interested in hearing others, and in my opinion, my birth story is a little bit all over the place, but it is positive, for me at least. When I tell you the story, you might think, okay, that's not positive, or I don't know, you might think otherwise, but for me, it was pretty positive, and everything turned out to be, of course, completely fine, and she is here, she is healthy, I'm healthy, everyone is doing well. So for me, it is a positive birth story, so I want to share it with you guys. So as I mentioned, she came on April 23rd, and this was not her original due date. Her original due date was April 27th, so we have a few extra days with her. It is officially a week, and I can honestly say I have never been this happy and felt so in love in my life. She is the best thing that's ever happened to us, and I am just so I don't know, grateful and thankful that she is ours. But on the morning of the 23rd, I woke up and I had a little bit of cramping, and it felt like period cramping. It was definitely more in the abdominal area, and so I kind of just like paid it no mind. I was just like, okay, you know, this is normal pregnancy symptom, and usually contractions, I heard, and what people told me was you would get the cramping that started from the back and moved to the front, and I really wasn't having that. So I was like, oh, this is nothing, this is not contractions, it's not time yet. But as the morning went on, the cramps started getting more and more intense and more often. And I was like, okay, maybe I am experiencing the cramping only in the front and I am actually having contractions. And then I also was starting to get more and more lightening crotch, which is also a tell that you could be going into labor soon. So it was around 10 o'clock now at this time. I woke up from 7 a.m. to 10 with these cramps, and I wrote my husband and I said, okay, I'm going to call the hospital and ask if we can come in just to do a check. We were to have our first visit with the hospital basically on my due date, or like one day before my due date, just to get the paperwork done, for them to check me out, check the baby, make sure everything was going in the right direction. But we were a little bit earlier. So I called the hospital and I said, hello, I am supposed to be coming in on Friday. This was 2 days prior. But I'm feeling a little bit of cramping and I just want to make sure everything's okay with baby and would like to come in just to have a little bit of check. Of course, they said no problem, so we headed to the hospital for 12
p.m. and I was immediately brought in, checked out, and they checked my cervix to see how far or to see what was going on. The heart rate of the baby, of course, everything was good. My heart rate, her heart rate, and then they checked to see how much or if I was even dilated at all. And good thing, I was dilated. I was dilated to about a 3, which is so crazy to think about. I was fully expecting going in there for them to tell me that I'm not even dilated or barely at all. So that was very exciting. And then they asked, yeah, would you like to stay or would you like to go home? You know, this could take some time for you to get fully dilated to give birth. And it being my first pregnancy at all, I kind of was like, I think I would like to stay just in case and just wait it out. If it goes on for hours, okay, maybe then I will decide to go home. But for now, I would like to stay and just monitor it at this point. So that's exactly what we did. We got set up in a room, and after that, my contractions started to really come more and more. And I remember just trying to stay mobile, walking around, breathing, and they just kind of started to intensify a bit. And then at one point I was going to the restroom and I felt like, TMI, but I felt like I had to use the restroom, and then my water actually broke, which was really nice, and I was very happy about that because I didn't really want them to have to break my water. I wanted it to happen naturally, and it did, and it was such like a rush of relief. It's crazy how like people always say like, you know, it really is kind of like in the movies where just like a burst of water happens, and I was just very happy that that happened naturally. So after that happened, obviously things started to speed up a little bit. My contractions started to really intensify, and I always planned to do the epidural. I know people have different opinions, and for me this is just what I wanted, and it's okay if it's something that you don't believe in or if it's something that you also want. I think everyone is entitled to their own opinion and which route they would like to go. And for me, I wanted my labor to be an experience that I enjoyed and I was happy about and excited to do, and I knew the epidural would help me, so that's exactly what I did. The nurses and midwives were so friendly and helpful, and you know, they were thinking, okay, because of the rate you're going, let's just do a little bit of just some sort of like pain medication first, see how it goes. So that's what we did, and honestly, it didn't really help anything. And for me, if I was going to do the epidural, why not do it when I could? So I was at a point where I was at like a 4 or 5, and then I said, okay, I think it's time. I would like to do it. And it would take some time for the anesthesiologist to actually get there anyway. So I was like, can we just let him know? And then we will wait for him to come. And then hopefully by then I'm a little bit even more dilated and we can, you know, do the epidural. And they were like, fine, that's okay, we can do it. So after a few, maybe 30, 40 minutes, he arrived and we got all set up to do the epidural. And during this time, I really felt the contractions, and they were painful. They were painful, I cannot say that they were not. And the women that do not get the epidural, I am in awe of you. The amount of pain that goes through your body without the epidural is something it's I can't even explain, to be honest with you. And when they were giving the epidural, I was trying to stay still as much as possible. I was just, you know, my poor husband's hand was definitely getting crushed, but they did the epidural, and honestly, the epidural, I was a little bit nervous because of some of the stories that I heard, how the needle is huge and, you know, people feel like that's the worst part of giving birth. And to be honest with you, it was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Of course, there's a sharp pain, but other than that, I think you're thinking in your head, it can only get better after this. And that really helped me. And yeah, so I was administered the epidural and immediately started feeling just like a weight of relief. And from my lower half down was numb. They continued to check me, you know, do a little pinpoint needling all over the body, make sure everything was okay. I could still move my body. I can still move my legs. I was not like completely immobile, which was really, really nice. They did the epidural perfectly and everything was great. I was feeling fantastic. And then maybe like 30 minutes after that, they checked my dilation again and I was already at a 10. It was so fast and I was so happy, and it was getting to the point where it was time to push. So my midwife was helping me kind of just prep. The doctor was not there yet, so we were just doing a little bit of pushes on our own. And then we started noticing that the baby's heart rate started getting really, really high. And of course that makes you nervous. And okay, she wanted to be in the vlog. So we noticed the baby's heart rate started getting a little bit high, and then the doctor came in and she assessed me and her heart rate, and she thought it'd be best that we use the help of a vacuum to try to help her come down more. Basically what was happening is that with each contraction, and when I started pushing with each contraction, she would come forward but then retract a little bit. So we need a little bit of help to kind of bring her out when I was pushing. So basically that happened, and within 3 pushes her head was out, and when I looked down I saw that her umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck, and super nervous. Me and my husband both immediately were very nervous. And then all of a sudden we see her eyes pop open and she looked at us, and then she started crying, and we were so happy. And then of course I had to push again to get her fully out, and it was about 3 more pushes and she was out. And they took her and they checked her, and we were so happy and just so relieved and just so thankful that everything was okay. Of course, when the heart rate went up, we were a bit nervous, and I was nervous, but I only could stay in a good mindset and say to myself, she is coming out and we will see what is happening, but everything was fine, right? Just thankful that everything actually went well, and she is healthy and she is happy, and we are both just doing very well. I would say we had a positive birth, right? So I went into the hospital around 12, as I mentioned, and she was born at 7:22 p.m. So it was a few hours, but only a few hours of pushing, and everything actually seemed super fast. I don't know. I, in my mind, think it was a positive and successful birth, and I am so happy she is here now. So after the birth, you know, they assessed everything, did the delayed cord clamping, my husband cut the cord, and yeah, I did have a 2nd-degree tear, which obviously that's something that you always try to prevent, but you really can't do anything much in the moment. My midwife was trying to help me have a warm compress in the area and stuff. It's just, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and it's something very common. So if it's something that you're worried about, just kind of put it in the back of your mind and just say to yourself there's other things that are more important, like your baby's health, and that everything is fine with them and you, and the tear will heal over time and you'll be fine. But yeah, that is pretty much my birth story. We've been home for a little over a week now, and we are just enjoying this newborn bubble and enjoying our baby girl and getting used to our new life and being parents, and just honestly loving and enjoying every minute of it, because everyone tells me how quickly this phase goes, and you know, the long nights are hard. I am not going to say that they're not hard, and the figuring things out and, you know, not getting everything right in the beginning is totally normal, but nothing compares to this love that you have. And I can only say pregnancy has made me such a better person, and giving birth to her has given me such a different outlook on life and like what I am really here for, and like what it all is for. And yeah, I'm really excited to share my postpartum journey with you guys. You guys know I've shared throughout my entire pregnancy, prior to being pregnant, during my miscarriage. So I'm really excited for the next chapter and to share new mom life, postpartum journey, everything with you guys. So to end off this vlog, I'm gonna go feed her because she's definitely hungry. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're not already subscribed, please do consider subscribing because it really does mean a lot, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Bye guys.